making all the beautiful fan art, and thank you for sharing your thoughts and feelings and emotions and all the love in the comments. And then they're very, very beautiful. Thank you. I was nervous about this song because it's very, very personal. I think some people know. I think I talked about it in a Grammarship once, where I wasn't sure if my first song should be like something more in line with how a lot of people view Gigi Mooning, you know? Fun, chaotic. Like, I like songs like that. But then I always wanted to make a song that was from the heart and emotional, and I couldn't decide. I'm like, should that really be my first song? But in the end, I decided to go with this song as my first song because it meant a lot to me. And the way it came to be is actually my debut video. If you watch my debut lore video, where I was like, I know what this video means to me, but it can mean anything to you because I think art is beautiful and you get your own meanings from art. But what it meant to me is that I wanted to make my debut video more like this video. And actually, I was planning on making it more blatant and apparent, but some staff fans were they're understandably worried because it would be my first exposure to the wider net of all these fans, and there's like so many eyes, so many people watching. So they were just telling me about like the risk and stuff, or like, oh, you could put this out. There's always going to be like a vocal minority of bad actors. There's bad actors out there. So they really just wanted to make sure that I would be okay with it. And then so that's why I toned it down. I scaled it back. So it wasn't as blatant in the debut video. But I was really considering it for the beginning. But I think why it mattered to me is because as someone who, you know, as you can probably tell, I don't talk about GiGi-Papa very often. But it's mostly because it's difficult, right? And then if you talk about it, it's like they're not there, and people begin to question and wonder, and then you're just like, no, there's no way that I can talk about recent stuff, but with Gigi Mama, I can talk about all what she does every day, but GiGi-Papa, there's only memories, and it's different. It's a different kind of talking. And I know that when you bring up stuff like that, it turns into this conversation, and it just feels so, it had to be in my own way. I think I just had to do it in my own way, but I really, really wanted to do it because as someone who has only had Gigi Mama and really long for so long, that I know how it looks if you don't bring up your other parent, and I didn't want people to assume that GiGi-Papa was a bad parent because he was the best parent to me. That's why. Because it just makes me sad to think that there are people out there, because I never bring up GiGi-Papa, where they think that I was probably, or like, you know, like bad memories. But he was a very, very awesome dad, and I'm happy that I can honor his memory. So I'm glad that I was able to put out this piece of work, this art, and that's why I always want to do it, because I didn't want people to have this false idea of, it's just like, he was so awesome, and I would probably have introduced him to, if he was still around, I would tell him everything, and he would know about this. And maybe even he just understood everything, and so it just makes me sad if like someone were to think poorly of him just because I don't talk about him. And that is why, that was my intentions, my reasoning, and I'm happy. I think it's been a while, so I have come to terms with it. I don't think it makes it any easier, but it's just like, it's a really hard topic, and it's rough. Like, unfortunately, everyone has to go through it at some point in their lives, and it's difficult, and it's really hard to navigate. And even though it happens to like literally everyone, it sucks that it happens to literally everyone, but you never feel more alone when it happens, even though it happens to everyone. I've always wanted, when I have this platform and stuff, that I wanted to put out art that resonates with people, because I know what it's like to be in really terrible places, you know, terrible spaces in your mind, in like terrible depression holes and stuff. And I know what it's like to feel like incredibly alone, but there is a lot of art out there that touches you, and I hope that what I put out is able to reach someone when they need it most. And that's why I love creating art. It's not what I do on the day-to-day on my streams and stuff, because in my streams we're just chilling out and we're hanging out and having fun. But I'm glad that I have an outlet, like a creative outlet, where I can do things that mean something to me. And when I do things like this, it's not like, oh, this is massively affecting me right now, but it's something that I lived through, and then it's something that I just want to put out there, you know? And I hope that it can reach someone, because that's what art does for me. I love looking at art, and it's like, it might not have been what the artist intended, what you get from that piece of art. Like, someone could draw a blue curtain, and then they're like, yeah, I drew it because I like the way the blue curtain looks. But you're like, this meant a lot to me. This piece of work, it helped me out of my loneliness. And then it just, art matters. It depends on what it meant to you. So that's why I wanted to make something like this. It just comes into fruition in my mind's eye. Yeah, that's why I think art is very important, because I have this platform. I just really, really want to put more kindness out into the world. Is my philosophy is that since I have the opportunity, I should make the most of this opportunity and put out as much good as I can. It's like, oh, it's kind of self-serving, but I think there's enough darkness in the world that it's okay to just be, I just want to put out good things. I want to put out things that matter to me, and that can maybe matter to other people. And it's okay if you don't get anything from, it's okay if you don't feel anything from watching my MV. It's because it's like art affects people in different ways, and you don't have to connect with everything. That's just how art is. You might connect to something that someone else doesn't connect with, and that's okay. That's fine. And yeah, that's why it mattered a lot. I think people know that I kind of have a difficult relationship with Gigi Mama, but I do really love and care for her. But she wasn't always good to me. I had a very complicated relationship with her when I was younger, and I always thought that I would only be with GiGi-Papa because of that. And so when I lost him, it's like you lost the only thing that mattered to you or cared about you. But I'm really, really happy that Gigi Mama was able to change a little bit. And that's why I know that she bothers me and she annoys me sometimes. But I do treasure her. I do know that she made a lot of sacrifices for me. And she makes mistakes, but I forgive her. I forgive her for what she did. It doesn't undo what she did in the past, but I forgive her now, and I'm happy that she's around, and that's why I still care for her. Yeah, and that's how it is. The conception of the MV was that I had a very, very clear idea of what I wanted the MV to look like. Like, from the very beginning, I had this document before I reached out to them. Is like, I want it to be mixed media. I want it to be a real life set, and I want something animated on top of that set. And I knew I could trust Izzy with it because they're really, really, really talented. And then Bones is also really talented. And I just knew these two together, they're like very talented story writers on their own. I knew I could go to them, and I knew I could trust them. So what I have like this incredibly, just like all my word vomit of everything I want. And I'm like, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I'm trying to convey. And this is like some things like my experiences. And then I just want to put it together. And they're very awesome. And they made it happen. They're just so smart. They're so wise. I don't know. It's because I'm not the one doing it, so I don't know how feasible it is. And then I message them, and I'm like, how possible is it for the set to get messier, and more cluttered, and like the door is getting blocked and she's getting more caged in? How possible is that? And then they're just like, yeah, we can figure it out. That sounds odd. We'll figure it out. They're so smart. And I think that I have like a very clear idea of the visuals, but I don't have a clear idea of music because I'm not very musically inclined. But I wanted to reach out to Pretty Patterns because I like his work. And then I'm like, here's all my feelings. Here's all my emotions. Can we make something happen? And I think for me is that I wanted the song to still feel uplifting, and the tone of it to still be uplifting. And I'm happy that I got to work with so many talented people on this. And Lauren, who came up with the top line and the lyrics, and then I sent them all of my thoughts. Just so much word vomit. And I tweaked the lyrics a little bit on places where I thought where they're more personal to me, and that I still wanted it to feel like it's like steps forward, steps moving forward. So I'm glad that we could make this happen. This piece of art right here. Yeah, and that is how it came to be. I think I said most of what I wanted to say on how it happened. It's just I knew I could trust these artists with a piece of my heart, and then they delivered something very beautiful, and it's awesome. All you need is a vision. All you have to have is a vision, and then it comes together.